Hello, beautiful souls,
Hello,
and Happy New Year.
welcome back. Happy New Year, and I hope everything is gonna become much better for you.
If you didn't get your twin flame reading from our past videos, you can still do it, even though I already put out the results. And maybe we can put the link
To the video,
underneath to this video. Yeah.
I can put somewhere here on top. It's either on top of my head or on top of Petty's head.
Just to get your twin flame message for 2023.
Yeah, it's very important.
And we are starting with a very cool video based on our observations of twin flame couples.
It sounds strange, but this is a big reason for twin flame separation. Because it is deeper than all this. But yeah, we are gonna focus on one of the biggest reasons. It's not the only reason, but the biggest reasons for.
I think it is pretty much the major reason, and it might sound a little bit abstract, but when we start speaking in depth, I think you will understand better. We actually don't even think about it, but it's very real.
Yeah.
It's very real, and it's really the core of separation of all those couples out there.
If you think about it, every time you put things in the subconscious, meaning you don't want to be aware of certain things. The more things you don't want to be aware, you just want to fly around or focus on other things. The more things are going to happen on the background automatically to you, either positively or negatively, and this can be one of the biggest reasons as well. When we are not aware of what is happening around us, it's on the subconscious and we just don't know what is there.
You know how usually we talk about how when twin flame couples get together, they activate these amazing powers, amazing love, which is like nothing else that we know, and it kind of multiplies, and also it activates amazing abilities within us. We even have a video about this, how when we get together we actually activate abilities most of the times that we were not even aware of, or maybe they were dormant until we meet the twin flame.
Yeah, we thought that we are at our best, or we became much better at being ourselves, but we didn't know that until we meet our twin flame, we actually have so much more things hidden in our DNA and that come out later on, and they are absolutely amazing, or sometimes absolutely catastrophic if we don't know how to handle.
And that is because when we get with our twin flame, we activate not only our strengths and superpowers, but we actually activate our weaknesses as well.
Yeah.
And this hits us very strongly, and it's very frustrating, and we just don't know how to handle it because we didn't have to handle with all this until now.
It is tough when we think about it, not just us, but everyone thinks about, like, would I want to go back in time and just be by myself and not do all this damage to my life? And because, when you are with your twin flame, usually it is very catastrophic. So
Living alone is totally different than living with your twin flame.
A part of me, and I'm sure a part of Patty and a part of you too, we want to go back and just live our life alone without all this. But the majority part in my heart and in Patty's heart, we actually prefer like this because we are so much more upfront with ourselves. We are honest with ourselves, much more, way more. We thought we were honest, but I cannot explain it. So the identity becomes more revealed.
Now, you can imagine it like this. Imagine you are a map, like a certain puzzle, right?
Okay, Petinha's gonna tell.
And your twin flame is also a map. And when you get together, these two maps get on top of each other and they become one. So maybe you had shaded areas within yourself, and these areas within your twin flame were enlightened. And once they get together, the whole thing gets enlightened. And very often, as a matter of fact, the person who had the shaded area and the other had the enlightened it. So the person who has this area enlightened is aware of these traits within himself, for example. But the other one has them shaded. So when they get together, the enlightenment of the shaded area becomes so strong that usually it gets even more exaggerated, if I can explain it in the most simple way.
So
like
technically, technically, my dark parts become more visible because you are like a flame to me, and you make me see these things. It's
Right.
like the fire shows me this,
Right, and the other way around.
and the other way around.
And this can be so frustrating. It can be exciting as well and very interesting at the beginning, but because we are not used to handling all this in the reality here in the matrix, it can really become a huge issue.
Yeah, and anything that the other people can see, my darkness and Petya's darkness, it's only the protection of this room. Let's say, imagine my darkness is like a room that no one can see what's inside, but they can
Yeah,
see
and usually-
just the front door. So they think my darkness is this front door, but you can enter and put the light and
That's
check
right.
further. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we people usually mirror each other. With some people it works better, with others works less. And there's people like the reflectors in the human design who reflect 100% the person opposite them. So these are the most difficult people to understand and to find out who they truly are, because they actually are empty in terms of identity.
Yeah.
So the more, let's say, defined centers in terms of human design, which is like the more full you are in terms of identity, the more specific person you are. But the more empty you are, the other people just flow through you like a river.
Yeah. And sometimes the person who is more empty doesn't even know what is going on and thinks this is a reality, but it's just being
Yeah.
exaggerated.
Yes. I have only 3 defined centers out of 9, let's say. Everything else is empty for me. So very often people think that I'm a certain person when I speak with them, but I just merge with them and I literally reflect them in a way in certain areas. And when I go to speak with someone else, I become a totally different person. And this can be confusing to someone, but to me is something natural, just because I know that if I want to communicate with this person, I just have to become this person. Otherwise, I don't have this trait within me. I don't have anything to show, literally.
Yeah, speaking about the shadow and the light of the twin flames, it is a mutual process. So if one of you wants to see further what the other one is hiding, just so that we can work out things better, and the other doesn't want to do that, it usually just doesn't move forward. It stays stuck. And yeah, it's also another thing.
That's right. So most of the times the couples that are in separation, they either are afraid of what comes up to the surface, but let me tell you, that's not something that is going to go away. It will always be there, because once you get with your twin flame, your weaknesses come to the surface and they will always stay there. I'm going to give you an example. right? Again, a little bit with the human design, but it's actually valid for everything. It's not, I'm just using it so that I can make it more specific.
Yeah, so that you can understand better.
Yes. For example, I have an undefined spleen, and Andre has a defined spleen. And the spleen, let's say, is the center of our fears. So the people who have not defined spleen, they usually experience more fears because they don't feel protected. They just never feel protected, and they never will. The interesting part is that because Andre has a defined spleen, it doesn't make my spleen really defined. But instead, every little fear he has passes through me, and I exaggerate it even further. So, controversially, when I am with him, I started to get more fears. I had a lot of fears as a child, and I didn't understand why. Then I went to live alone, and things started to get better. I started to let go of a lot of fears. It came out that my father has a defined spleen as well, so this was acting me as a catalyst.
So if me and your father are with you think is stronger or is the same as being with one of each?
I think it's pretty much the
It's pretty
same.
much the same.
But
It's already there. So.
yeah, it's already there.
I just want to say something before I forget that I don't know if you ever heard this saying, trust goes both ways. So you have to entirely trust your twin, and your twin has to entirely trust you and each other's selves. So you have to trust yourself as well and your twin as well.
And I got a download. So just like I tried to explain you the areas that I'm empty, for example, and Andre is defined, and the other way around, because we have the same thing with the emotional center, for example. I have it defined, he doesn't. So every emotion of mine that he feels passes through him freely, and he multiplies it like crazy. And if it's a negative emotion, it hits him very bad.
Yep.
So what is my download? Listen to your twin flame how to handle with these new things, because usually you are reflecting them in a way and you are multiplying them.
Mm-hmm.
But your twin has lived with them all their life, so they know already how to handle them. In this respect, I should listen to Andre how to deal with my fears, and he should listen to me how to deal with emotions.
And if it sounds too complicated, the only thing that you can do if your twin flame is not okay is for you to be neutral, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Just be neutral. Don't be a robot as well. Have some compassion, but don't exaggerate as well. Just be neutral towards positive, but not too much positive. But
the most important, though, that this information actually helps you to understand better your twin flame, why he or she is behaving in a certain way, and why you are behaving in a certain way in the presence of your twin flame. And the more you start to become aware of all this, the more compassion you will have for yourself and for your twin. So we stop like being mean to each other and like wondering why is he or she doing this or that or da 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 da. Maybe that's just a part of who they are, and that's just a part of the activation that you get between the two of you. And as a matter of fact, we do make such like a reading / consultation to flame activation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested, that's exactly what we do. We try using different methods.
Yeah, and because it's personal, we can really go deep.
Mm-hmm.
But we go as deep as you can let us go. We cannot,
Yes.
we cannot interfere if you don't feel comfortable. But if you are all the way, we are all the way as well.
That's it.
That's it.
So in this reading, that's what we try to do. We try to show you the strengths that come up to the surface when you're with your twin flame, and the weaknesses as well. So you understand each other better and you try to work with it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
We're not gonna make a miracle for you. You will be the one still to make it.
You are the miracle.
Yes.
You are either the miracle or the nightmare. You just have to decide how to use your own energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, use it for love.
We do our miracle every single day, guys. We work for it very hard.
It's not easy for us either. Just because we are together making a video doesn't mean that we are always perfect every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We also have our moments. But we really work our way.
Yeah.
And we respect each other a lot. That's
this is number one.
Yeah.
When the ego hits, it's okay if we miss on something, and you guys as well. But we know at the very end, when the soul comes, everything melts into love. That's it.
That's it.
Don't kill for love, huh? In the name of love. Use just love for love. That's it. Nothing else. Because many people, there's people like, in the name of God or in the name of love, I'm going to do this and that. Yeah.
Just be love.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's very cool.
See you soon.
Ciao, ciao.